Jason, were you, I guess, when you found out that Donovan and Keane were held out, were you worried about a possible letdown
Yes.
with you guys?
Yes.
Do you think that played a role into
Yes, I do. It wasn't just Donovan and Keane. There's 5 players that started tonight for the Galaxy that aren't typically in their strongest 11. So much so that when I got the lineup, I was nervous to even write it on the board. I was wondering if there was any way I could just sneak it in that they were playing our LA's strongest lineup, because I feel that our guys have had a tendency over the past to let down when they think they're playing a team that's weaker than they are. And tonight they got shown that that team isn't weaker than we are. The guys that played, their 11 was better than our 11.
Jason, you had 2 late scratches as well due to injury. How do you think that impacted the match?
It's difficult, as we've seen in the past. It's difficult if we don't have a target to play to up front. And Sabo, somebody that's going to stay central for us the majority of the time. Garcia worked extremely hard and was dangerous all night. Plata had his moments where he was dangerous, but they were playing so wide of each other in the first half that there was very few times where we could play to a forward in a dangerous position to hold the ball up for us and to get more numbers involved in the attack. So tactically, there's still a lot to learn for those guys.
Do you miss a veteran presence like that at forward when you go down a goal or two and you're looking to climb back in?
Somewhat, especially because you know that the space is going to become very limited to playing behind teams when they have a lead, and especially a very well-organized Los Angeles Galaxy team. You're going to need to be able to play in front of them and play off of somebody and move in around them, and that guy for us typically is Sabo, that provides that target and that person that'll hold the ball up for us so we can join him.
Maybe talk a little in the second half. It seemed like you tried a lot of different things to try and break down that LA defense, change formations, substitutions. Maybe just talk about those. Again, just looking at what we were up against and where I thought we needed to get to be dangerous. I wanted to see if we could get somebody that would be in wide attacking positions that would open up their midfield a little bit. I wanted to see if we could free up Javier and Kyle's role a little more in the center of midfield. And I thought that the answer to that would be to bring Gio in to sit. And he actually proved to be a little bit dangerous in the attacking third. So, it's just trying to do different things. When you're down 2-0 at home, I think it's drastic measure time, and we just tried everything we could.
Jason, is there a player more unlucky than Olmes Garcia? I think it's 4th time he's hit the post or the crossbar this year.
Yeah, it is his 4th time, and I think all of them actually have been crossbars. The first one against Dallas might have been a post, but post and crossbar even, I don't know. So yeah, a little bit unlucky. But you got to figure that it'll come for him.
That's 4 games in a row where the road team has won between you and LA. Is that how your 2 teams approach these games, that you're both willing to go for it on the road, or what do you think causes that?
I don't know that you can look at the whole picture of all the 4 games and make any general statements. For me, it's more informational and more exact if you just look at performance by performance. And tonight, I felt my team wasn't ready to start. The 15 minutes we were in an absolute lull, and if you give 2 goals away to a team that's as organized defensively as they are, you're going to be in for a difficult night. So they made it difficult on us. I did appreciate our guys' reactions. I did appreciate what they put into the second half. We're unfortunate not to score a goal. But, we need to own up and be responsible for what happened in the first 15 minutes.
Jason, is consistency with this team maybe the thing that's lacking from week to week? Seems like you can get a good result and then a bad result.
Absolutely. Yeah, we haven't strung together 2 wins this year. We've strung together, I think, a couple positive results, but even then, if you look at the positive result at Vancouver and then the positive result last week, that positive result, we were winning that game at a certain point. So I don't know if you can look at that as much as a positive as you would like. So for me, we're finding our way a little bit. Unfortunately, I felt that when we've had a good performance, we've had a drop off immediately after, and that comes from guys just feeling a little too comfortable about what they did and thinking they've arrived a little bit. Because we saw it, the last really good match we had against Seattle, We went the very next week to Colorado and were very poor. And then, last week was arguably maybe our best performance of the season at home against Chivas, and we started off the match today very poor.
Is some of that maybe a product of just guys maybe not used to that? You have a lot of different faces on this team in different roles, and maybe they're just not used to playing like
I don't know. I'm searching for an answer myself, but when we have as many veteran players out there as we did tonight, I mean, Borchers, Beckerman, Morales, Grabavoy, Raimondo, Schuler now, Beltran. I mean, these guys have been around the league long enough that you wouldn't think they would play inconsistently. And I'm not making judgments about any individual player, but I think collectively we have to really get ourselves more up for these games and recognize that every single match, if we don't put in everything that we have, we'll get beat. We'll get beat, even by teams that are missing 5 starters.
In that sense, Jason, were you looking at tonight's game as kind of a gauge of where your team is, and what conclusion do you have, if any?
I think that I have the same conclusion that I've had all along, that if we don't put everything we have into it, if we're not very focused on the details, which we weren't tonight, that we'll lose games.
Sounds like Sabo's injury came yesterday during training. Do you know what happened, and how close was he to being able to
Both
go?
him and Finley's injuries came yesterday, not even during training, but after training, in some shooting that we do just to get the guys sharp. Sabo strained his quad, and apparently it might be pretty bad. And Finley, we thought that he would actually be closer to being available tonight than Sabo. But he actually pulled out of the warm-up before Sabo. So, and his is, I think, a little bit of a knee issue.
RSL hosts Vancouver at Rio Tinto Stadium May 4th at 7 o'clock. Get your tickets today.